All right, tell everyone again. Again, it's Kyle with the City of Waukesha Fire Department, and we're going to go over the practical or hands-on portion now of the ventilation that we had talked about earlier. We're going to go over the negative pressure fan and then the positive pressure fan, and then we will have a firefighter demonstrate setting them up briefly, and then we will have time for everyone to get hands-on, get a little bit closer. It's going to be a little bit difficult to see some of the controls on these fans from sitting where you're sitting right now. So we'll get everyone up and close and personal and check out some of the controls. Obviously note that all the models can be very different, and we'll kind of just go over the way that we set everything up and have it ready on the trucks and ready for operation. So to get started here, this is the negative pressure fan like we talked about earlier. So the uses for this are for getting smoke to be evacuated from that fire room or close to it, or wherever the other hazardous atmospheres are. So this actually will go in the window or doorway, hang up top, and then actually draw air out of that area versus the positive pressure where we're going to force it in. So this is what the fan looks like. Usually they're anywhere from 16 to 24 inches. They're a box fan. That's the diameter that we're measuring there though. And then generally you're going to have some sort of device. This is what we use, and it goes up into the doorway or the window, and it actually is what we're going to anchor the fan to once we get to that point. So like we talked about in the lecture portion, one of the drawbacks is you need to have some sort of supplied power for this. So either a generator, electrical cords. We're going to be using electrical cord in this application, but we need some sort of means of getting power to it. There is tons of other models out there. This is what we have, so electricity is what we would need in this situation. Very simple fan. Other than that, there's a simple pull to turn on this one, and then you push to turn off. Very simple switch on this one. So really nothing else to it. Talked about a little bit about the maintenance. You're obviously drawing either that smoke or those hazardous atmospheres through this fan, and that's one of the reasons that it causes or requires a little bit more cleaning and taking care of after the fact. There is to note, there's an arrow on the top here that reads exhaust with an arrow showing you which way it's going to be blowing. If we have it in backwards, it's going to give us more problems than we are going to be helping ourselves. So to move on over to the positive pressure fan, and again, like I said, you'll get more hands-on and we'll be able to see these controls a little bit better close up once we get to that point. But the way we always store our positive pressure fans in our what we call ready to go state is the on-off switch, this little red switch here in the on position. We'll have the fuel turned back on, the choke will be on, and then the throttle would be set all the way up so that we can get it started, turn that choke off after a few seconds, and it's at full throttle, ready to go. Not much delay in time. We do these checks just like we do all of our other equipment, so we know that these things start up pretty quickly. Generally have a lot of good luck with these. So there's that on-off switch again. Again, really very simple. It's just the throttle here, slow to fast, depending on what you need. The choke, the on-off switch for the fuel. So after we run them for checks and whatever it might be at the end of use, when we are putting things back in service, we'll run the fuel out of the carburetors so that it doesn't have that where the fuel sits and then goes bad and causes us some harder starting at a later time. And then just a simple pull start. So that's basically it as far as the motor operations go. There's this lever on here like we talked about, and you just depress it and you can get the angle that you're designing. We talked about how we want to be covering that entire opening. So when we turn that fan in, we want to get that set so that we can feel for our cone to make sure that we are in fact covering that whole opening. It's going to give us the most effective positive pressure. So we're going to go ahead and have this stuff set up here quickly, and then we'll start getting people up to take a closer look and get some hands on.